Today, one individual has expressed interest in commenting, Arushi Sharma Frank, representing Tesla, and she can do that now at this time. The board will provide 5 minutes for comments. Ms. Frank, the floor is yours.
Good morning. My name is Arushi Sharma Frank. I represent Tesla through its U.S. policy team, specifically focused on energy market entry and policy matters affecting really the entire energy spectrum. My goal for the 5 minutes is to provide this board an overview of the work Tesla has been doing in Texas, specific to supporting ERCOT's efforts over the past nearly 3 years to improve resiliency and add innovation to the grid. I kind of want to start all the way to 2020, which was actually also the start of my tenure at the company leading in this space. In 2020, Tesla approached ERCOT for the first time to come up with language in the nodal protocols that will allow Tesla Megapack to interconnect in this state. We participated and collaborated with all stakeholders, utilities, independent generators, the consumer segment, the whole group, and within a year, we're able to pass changes that allowed a 100-megawatt battery to interconnect timely the following summer. And just for perspective, this was just a few months after Storm Uri when the battery went live in June 2021, to get that battery online in the state and support the grid immediately the next summer. The 1-year time period is incredible. There is no other market where I think our company or any other company could change market rules, implement them, and interconnect a 100-megawatt battery. That was an incredible success, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that it is an incredible precedent, and that precedent must continue in how ERCOT addresses and how stakeholders address innovation in this market. In 2021, Tesla sponsored another NPRR, which is happily on your agenda today as unanimously supported by the Technical Advisory Committee. That is NPRR 1100. We came up with NPRR 1100 in its infancy when we realized that we had the ability to build another large battery on land that is contiguous with a gigafactory, Texas, and we had more than one use case for how that battery could be used. There were no rules at that time on the ERCOT grid in the nodal protocols that will allow a commercially operating battery that is front of meter, which means that it can participate for its full nameplate value in the energy and ancillary services market, provide grid reliability services. But if the substation or the connection to the grid is down and the battery just cannot get its energy out to the system, that battery could still be used and be connected locally as a microgrid to another load to help that load with its operations, or in this case, because the grid is already in a crisis and that substation is down, since that load can't get power from anywhere else, allow that battery to provide that power. In the case of Giga Texas, NPRR 1100 would allow Giga Texas to receive backup power for some functions, not all, since only a couple hours or maximum 3 hours in a battery of the expected size would probably be available. But it allows us to do some safe shutdown operations and keep things going if there is a critical failure at the substation for any reason, cyber, security, or otherwise. The reason this NPRR is so important is that it creates a brand new value proposition for large batteries, which could be essential to a lot of large critical loads in this state. Think hospitals, think companies that make toilet paper, think anything that can suffer from a grid emergency, and allow those companies to enter into contracts with developers of large batteries. And that contract is still economic for the developer because on a good day, they can participate in the market and get that value from the ERCOT grid. But on a bad day, they can turn around and use that large capacity of the system to support safe operations at a very large facility. And I'm talking facilities with loads of 50 to 100 megawatts, not what you commercially think of as a facility that has a battery behind it, which is usually in the range of anything from 5 to 50 megawatts. This is huge, and the change you're approving today in your ratification procedures is going to create a brand new value proposition for batteries. I want to end it by talking about Tesla's next initiative, and that is something you've heard about in the news, I'm sure, as well as from ERCOT directly, and that is figuring out reliability on the distributed energy system. Tesla's first initiative in 2020 was about Tesla participating as an independent generator in the market. Tesla's second initiative was about Tesla participating as an industrial consumer in this market. This initiative is about Tesla's customers, and it is also about the retail energy offer that Tesla can bring to this market that relies primarily on the reliability and the innovation that is waiting on the distributed system in the tune of gigawatts. Sorry, bad day for a cough. It's going to be a lot of work, and we know it is because DER integration has taken work in every market. It's probably going to take 3 or 4 years. But the efforts that Tesla has led over the past year are intended to not only speed things up, but allow this market to dip its toe in the water, and do so by using private companies like us to take the front load of the efforts to support the studies that are needed to change the system for the better. If the board has questions, or if you believe that ERCOT staff should be working on these specific issues, we would love the board's support and the public's support to unlock this next step of resiliency on the grid. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Frank. I don't know that we're going to open it up for questions, but if anybody has any specific comments.
Just want to thank Tesla and the team for being here, and appreciate the dialogue we had last week at the commission meeting, and have full confidence that Tesla will move forward in the path we discussed, both through Commissioner McAdams and Commissioner Glotfelty's initiative on distributed resources, and also by Tesla's independent efforts to coordinate with a distribution company and build that partnership, and then come back to ERCOT and Commissioner McAdams and Commissioner Glotfelty.
Thank you. We appreciate your leadership last week.